work.
Welcome to the FAAR Louder podcast, presented by the Fredericksburg Area Association of Realtors.
Hello, I'm Carrie Danko, the 2021 FAAR President, and I am here today to welcome and introduce Page Browning, our new, now not so new, FAAR CEO. So she's here with us today, and we're just going to take some time to kind of reflect on the last year of me being president, and then kind of what she sees moving forward, and just kind of have a little discussion today. So welcome, Paige. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's just get right to it. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right.
I'm ready.
So Paige, can you give us a little bit of your background? Like, how long have you worked in association management and with realtors?
Sure. So I've been in association management. I started at the National Association of Home Builders with their Student Chapters program over 20 years ago. I worked there for quite a while, and then I moved on to the Coastal Association of Realtors 6 years ago on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and now I'm here for the last month and a half or so.
Well, great. Hopefully you'll be here for a lot of months in the future. So we're very happy to have you. And boy, you do have just a great experience to bring here to FAAR and its membership. So you've had a little more than a month, like you just said, to get to know us. What are you most looking forward to for 2022?
Well, a lot of my time the last few weeks has been spent getting to know my colleagues here at the association, getting to know the board members and committees. And I'm really looking forward to working on implementing the things that the strategic plan wants us, that you guys worked on last year. It's a great strategic plan with education and inclusion and working with brokers. So I really want to dive in to all of that and really bring value to our members. There's a bit of a learning curve, and I'm getting through that, but I think by the end of 2022, we will be off to a great start.
Absolutely. I think with your focus to value to the members, there's no way we can go wrong. So that's great. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I do. So you've seen a lot of changes so far over the last several years. And how long have you served on the board?
So I've been on the board since 2017 as a director, and then I quickly went into leadership as treasurer, and then of course now the president. And so I want to tell a kind of a quick funny story about how I got to be on the board. I knew that I was going to be interviewed, or I was told that I was going to be interviewed, but I had never received an invitation for the interview. And so this was back in 2016. And I'm at a home inspection, and fortunately, I was at a home inspection out at the gym. Towards the end of it, I received a phone call from Pat Bream, the former CEO, and she said, "Hey, are you coming to your interview?" And I went, "I didn't know that I had an interview." She says, "Yeah, it was 15 minutes ago." And I said, I do not have anything about an interview on my calendar, on my phone, whatever. And so I said, I can get there like in the next 15 minutes if there's a way for me to kind of to get in there now. And she was like, "Yeah, we'll wait." And so of course I, was like just frantic trying to get to FAAR to get in this interview that I had not prepared for even a little bit, because I didn't know it was happening. And it turns out when I got there that they had sent the invitation to the wrong email address. So fortunately, it was not an error on my part that I had to kind of start off on that foot. But so anyway, so even the beginning for me, there was challenges, and certainly challenges have continued throughout the years, but we've definitely overcome them. So,
well, and I think that's the sign of a good leader, is you can think on your feet and adjust. And I think the key word the last couple of years has been pivot. We're all sick of hearing that word, but with COVID, so
right.
Good job with the interview.
Thanks. I don't know that I was running against too many people. I think that year it might have been 2 slots for 2 positions, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It was still very stressful. So
yeah. Oh, well, good. Well, we're glad that you joined the board for sure.
Me too.
We just mentioned that 2021 and 2020 really were really challenging with COVID, and then you guys had the changeover with the CEO. How do you feel the team, the board, the staff, the committee members, the membership in general? How did everyone handle it?
So it's funny you just mentioned the word pivot, and certainly it is an overused word that has been used the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. Well, I guess a year and a half, but truly it is just the ability to pivot. It was truly, I got to tell you, when 2020, Drew was starting his second year as president, and I knew that I was coming in the next year. And we kind of had all these plans for, really kind of getting together and figuring out how to make that transition. And then COVID hit, and so I was definitely in a personal way. I was worried about kind of what I was going to do and what he was going to do, to get us to 2021, but then very quickly, boy, just watching the way that FAAR went into action to just make the necessary changes. Just everyone just kind of did their part to make sure that there was, and I viewed it as kind of a flawless, seamless transition from in-person meetings to Zoom meetings, to making sure that the members' needs were still met. I mean, and then for me to know that, of course, I was hopeful going in. I think we all were going into 2021 that we would no longer have to be pivoting or adjusting or whatever words you want to use, but that's just not what we were dealt. And so once we kind of were on a roll, boy, we were on a roll. And I think it's just been phenomenal to see the way that membership, leadership, and the staff just kind of came together to make it all work.
Yeah, I mean, I can see coming in here new that it went really well. It doesn't seem like things stopped, really. So what would you say you learned the most as an organization, that we learned the most through this?
I think that we've learned what really the world has learned, is that we don't have to be in person to do things effectively all the time. And there's certainly a place for it. But we, the hybrid element that I think has come out of, COVID, and then now still COVID, but, we're getting to do in-person things, in-person events. I don't think we're going to ever lose that hybrid, the ability to be sitting in your home with dressed from the waist up in nice clothes and pajamas and waist down. I'm not going to tell you whether that's what I look like right now or not, but I don't think we're ever going to lose that. And so I think that's one of the biggest things, is that we learned that we changed things thinking, okay, this is just going to be temporary, hoping that it was going to be temporary, and now we're hoping that we don't just revert back to the way things were, because we're never going to be there again. Everything's changed. And I think we just really have to figure out going into 2022, how best to do things. And I think we will.
Yeah. And I think that's great too, with committee meetings, especially. You can, if you have folks that can't drive over here, they have a busy day, but you really want them to participate for an hour during the day, then what you just said is perfect. We can accommodate that. And
right.
that will work really well.
I feel like hybrid was very scary to us as an association. I think it still is to some respect, because it is difficult. You want to make sure that everyone's getting the most out of every event and every training or meeting. But we've learned a lot since the beginning, and we're going to continue to learn a lot as to how to do it better and make sure that that we're meeting the needs.
Good.
All right. So how about we do just a few rapid fire questions?
Sure.
All right. So we got to think on our feet here.
Okay.
All right. So here's a good one. What 3 words, just 3, Paige, would you describe your first 6 weeks at FAAR?
Good question. I would say busy, welcoming. Everyone's been so welcoming to me, and exciting. So those are 3. Yeah.
Those are good 3 words. As we recruit new leaders and fresh faces for FAAR, as you talked about, we really want to look at our strategic plan and implement it to the best of our ability. Fresh faces for FAAR committees and the board. What characteristics would you say are most important for the leaders of FAAR?
I think that they need to be enthusiastic and ready to get to work, committed to our strategic plan and what we're trying to do for our membership as a whole and our community. only 3 words? Can I do 4?
You can do is actually, I did not limit you on the words for this one. You can talk all day if you want to, but I'm not sure people are going to continue to listen.
Well, I'll keep it short. I think we want knowledgeable people, but people, even if they aren't an expert on a topic, people that are willing to learn. So if they want to be on a committee and learn something, we are open to that. And then we want people that are ethical, that'll do the right things for our members. So that's what I would say.
Right.
That I would love to see.
Okay. So let's see. Let me think. Non-work related. Here's a good question. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Anywhere in the world. Well, my husband's from Ireland. You actually were able to meet him. And so we do try to visit Ireland every couple of years. So I would say I'd head back to Ireland and visit with John's family.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, good question.
Thank
Very
you.
good question. Can I do the same? Can I
Yes.
do rapid fire with you?
Sure.
All right. So actually, I want to ask you the same question that you asked me. As we recruit new leaders and fresh faces to be involved, what would you say are the most important qualities they would have?
So, I mean, I really do feel like it takes passion. And I think we all should have it. And so I think we have to find it if we don't have it. We're in this industry and everything we do is really for our clients. So we're all realtors, or we're all in the industry. And, to have a passion to be able to add to the things that we're doing as an association to better ourselves and each other, I think it's really important. So, and I would say that most of the leaders that we have here are passionate about FAAR and about their jobs. So I think empathy is a big one. I think the ability to, I know for me, and I've kind of prided myself, and I certainly hope that other people see it in me. It's something I want to exhibit is just the ability to really be able to look at everyone's perspective, and whether you agree with it or not, to respect that other people have opinions that are going to differ from yours. But then to have the knowledge and just the strength to be able to take all that into consideration and make decisions. So you have to be able to make those hard decisions. And not all decisions are hard, but certainly you don't want to make decisions on your own. So you do need to have that ability to accept other people's perspectives. And then I guess integrity. I mean, you said it too. I think if you're in a leadership role, integrity is huge. And we're all under a code of ethics that is extremely important. And certainly integrity should be first and foremost on our mind when we're trying to lead the people in the association.
Yeah, I agree. Good. Well, a little bit of fun. What was your favorite event, either virtually or in person, that we had in 2021?
Okay, so we're just starting to get into being able to do in-person events, which I'm really excited about. But early on in the year, so as I started being president, I tried to attend like as many meetings. I'm still trying to, and all being on Zoom for so long was easier than maybe some other presidents have had in the past. But I also tried to attend like a couple of the groups would do like a little happy hour or a kind of a get together in the evening on Zoom, and I tried to attend those, and those were great. One in particular, YPN actually held a pizza making party with Orofino, and I thought that was a ton of fun. Actually, my husband was even able to kind of join in, and our pizzas were horrible. I mean, it wasn't Orofino's fault. It was completely just us trying to do something that we're just clearly not equipped to do. But it was fun because everyone was kind of in the same boat. Some people did a really great job. But so kudos to YPN for putting that on. And then it wasn't necessarily a FAAR event, but it was a FAAR event. But Pat Bream's going away party. I mean, I think that was the first time that that we all really did get together in person and interact. And I thought that it was a really special night. You were there. I thought it was a really special night that, and especially after so much time not being together, but even if we hadn't, even if we had have been together, it still would have been special. So I think those two things probably stick out in my mind at this point.
Yeah, that was a wonderful evening. It really allowed me to see the big shoes I have to fill too. Yeah. So that was a great evening. So what would you say, my next to last question, what are 2 words to describe how the committees and board work together for the membership?
Oh, wow. Tirelessly. And I don't know, enthusiastically sometimes. The way that the committees, we are all volunteers, and so and we are always trying to grow the people who are involved. And I think we all should be involved. Another plug for involvement. But really, there are groups of people who are doing nothing but trying to figure out how we give value to the membership. And so I just love to see the again, I guess passion is that word that I used for leadership qualities. I mean, and I think that, I think there should be more synergy moving forward between different committees. There's nothing wrong with the education committee working with YPN on something, or just that kind of thing. But I think everything, we do have some folks here who care a great deal about this membership.
Good. It's definitely evident from what I've seen. Okay, a fun one. This might be too easy for you. What's your favorite sports team?
So, Paige, you and I know each other, but I think you don't know. I am a huge sports fan. I love it all. I'm a huge football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Bob and I even watch bowling, and I know that some of you are going to go, "What?" But we do. Crazy. We know a lot of the bowlers' names, and we look forward to the broadcast. But my favorite team, growing up all throughout my life, I've been not all throughout my life, a Washington football team. They used to be called something else. So I was a different fan years ago. But and of course, they have stunk for a long, long time. So it's been very difficult to be a Washington football team fan. But then I met Bob, and he's a Green Bay Packer fan. So suddenly I had something to get behind and root for. I'm still a Washington football team fan, but I think I'm equally a Green Bay Packer fan, which is going to be interesting because we go to Green Bay on Friday to watch the Packers and the Washington football team compete. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm wearing just yet. It's my mind's all jumbled as to, I guess, a Green Bay Packer t-shirt and maybe a Washington football team jacket. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I love it. I love sports.
Good. How fun. Yeah. I actually love sports too, but I tend to watch golf. So maybe not as exciting.
Not as exciting as bowling? We're really cool women, Paige. All right. Well, I think this is pretty much the time that we have together today. And so I just want to thank you so much for joining us, not only today, but at FAAR. We're so happy to have you. And members, if you haven't come out and met Paige yet, please do so. And we'll see you guys around. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.